Hello and welcome to Laytechs Weekly, episode 5th May 2021. Laytechs Weekly is brought to you by Laytechs, your protection from tech ignorance. My name is Sean. This week's news of the week, Epic and Apple court battle begins. The epic battle between gaming company Epic and Apple started this week. A quick update for those who are unaware of what's going on. Epic last year launched a massive campaign against Apple's monopoly of the iOS App Store and the charging of a hefty 30% cut for all transactions that happen within the store. So this is what's been happening. Apple owns iOS and Apple owns the App Store, which is the only store you can download apps on iOS. The problem happens is that everything that has a transaction within that app, the App Store, Apple takes 30% cut. The first problem here is 30% is a lot because it is a very traditional way of the middleman taking a cut, by which at those times there were a lot of logistics costs and everything like that. And in terms of Apple, they may have it last time, but at this point of time they don't have it anymore because everything has already been established, and the 30% means a lot more to Apple now than it did to other companies, even to Apple in the very beginning. The second one is because Apple App Store is the only app store on iOS, it is essentially a monopoly. Whether or not Apple says they created the house and want to have control of the toilet that goes inside there, it is a monopoly. So that is what Epic is fighting for. And Epic is also saying iOS has multiple browsers, third-party browsers, third-party map companies, third-party music players. Why can't it have third-party app stores? And on Apple's defense, they are saying things like, oh, you know what, we want to. It's the same thing that Apple always does, right? They throw in these words like privacy, security, and experience. Typical Apple fashion. But that said, the Apple App Store has also been known to harbor malicious and pirated apps as well. In the past months, we see a lot of reports of bad management of the Apple App Store, which in a way can only happen because of the monopoly that Apple has on the App Store, because they don't care, right? Whether they do it well or not, they don't manage it well, there is no competition. So you either take it or you leave, that's it, or you go to Android. So that is just how it is. And but since Epic started going crazy against Apple on this one, there has been a back and forth tussle, and eventually Apple said, okay, you know what, fine, we will stop pressuring apps to include payments in the apps. They will stop pressuring developers to include payments in their apps if it is not required. In the case of WordPress, which their app does not have a payment system, but Apple threatened WordPress to include a payment system or the app will be removed from the App Store. But they backed out because, bad public scrutiny and everything like that. And on top of that, they also reduced the transaction fees for apps that for apps that make less than $1 million a year. The transaction fee will only be 15%. So Epic had a little bit of its way because transaction fees went down, there was no pressuring. What is Epic fighting for? More of the monopoly, actually. Epic, like most other developers on iOS, believe that competition will help Apple work harder to provide a better App Store experience and service while also further reducing their fees. This is true, but it's also true on Apple's point, because if I own the house, I get to control who goes into my toilet and how much I pay people if they want to use my toilet. So yeah, either way, it's we'll let the court do this. But whoever wins this round, or however it spins, it will set the precedence for a bunch of appeals that will eventually reach the Supreme Court, much like Oracle and Google with the fight of Java. We expect this to be a long battle, so whoever wins this round does not mean that they will eventually win. Dell releases security patch for a lot of their machines. This is a big security patch for many Dell and Alienware computers dating back to 2009. The vulnerability, discovered by security research firm Sentinel Labs, is present in a driver used by Dell and Alienware's firmware update utilities, and it allows attackers to gain full kernel level permission in Windows. Affected models include the XPS 13, 15, the G3, G5, and G7 gaming laptops, and also many Alienware models. The good news is that both Dell and Sentinel Labs haven't seen any exploitations despite the bug being there for a while. But now that it's out in the open, time to update your machines, like pronto. So if you have a Dell laptop that is made in 2009, you have to ask yourself two questions now. Number one, why are you still using a 12-year-old laptop? Number two, why are you not updated yet? So better go update soon. Foldable iPhones may come in 2023. Famous analyst Ming-Chi Kuo revealed that Apple is planning an 8-inch foldable iPhone by 2023. There is also a high possibility that the foldable QHD Plus screen will be supplied by Samsung, because they are, I guess, one of the three companies mass producing foldable screens at this point. Kuo also said that this whole foldable iPhone could very well depend on whether or not people will be buying foldable devices from competitors in the coming years. If there is demand, Apple may release it. On the other hand, if there is no demand, Apple will not hesitate to drop the entire thing and keep at their candy bar style. This makes sense, right? So develop on the site first, and between now and 2023, a lot of foldable phones will come out. Foldable, rollable phones, all will come out, and they will see how the trend works. If the trend still steers towards the candy bar once, then Apple might say, I don't think there is any need to release a failed form function. So let's just ditch it. We lose a bit of money, but it's fine, who cares? But if a lot of people start picking it up and ditch the candy bar, so 2023 will be the perfect time when iPhone comes up with a foldable model, and probably people will start using them. Xbox revenue share down to 12%. In the wake of Epic's big revenue share battle against Apple in the US courts, Microsoft has taken this as a sign to reduce the transaction fee percentage down to 12% from the similar 30%. Good move. It seems that Epic is the one to thank for other developers benefiting from this store percentage update. Epic really took a big hit for this, and these guys are heroes. In order to offset the reduced fees from Xbox, Microsoft is looking to improve offerings of their PC side, most notably with the launch of EA Play for Game Pass on PC, in which they would also be charging 12%, but at least there is more to go around, so at least they can make some money on the horizontal end. Samsung launched range of laptops. Samsung had a massive event to announce their new range of laptops called the Galaxy Book Pro. Very, very creative name. They include traditional clamshell and 360 yoga models. Each of them are available in 13 and 15-inch sizes. The key selling point of these laptops are their ability to work seamlessly with other Samsung devices, much like Apple's suite of devices. Ultra-thin and light design that surpasses even the iPad Pro with keyboard and the MacBook Air. It's 1 pound, which is almost half the size, half the weight of the MacBook Air. It's got excellent screen, typical of Samsung. Added security and privacy features thanks to their special chips and everything like that. And the features on hardware, the added security and privacy features on their hardware and software. The most importantly, super power and battery life. And that is coming from an Intel powered laptop. They also have the feature to turn off the laptop fan in order to further extend its lifespan. So this is something really cool coming from Samsung. So granted, people don't look at mobile devices brands when looking for laptops. So nobody actually buys a Huawei laptop. Nobody buys a Samsung laptop. Nobody buys it's a Dell, it's a HP, and those guys don't make mobile devices. But if you think about their ability to communicate with other smart devices and creating an ecosystem much like Apple is doing, it suddenly makes sense. And And Samsung wants to compete head-to-head with Apple in creating a walled garden world. And in order to do that, it needs to make sure you want one of the laptops too. That's all for this week's Laytechs Weekly. Laytechs Weekly is available on Anchor FM, Anchor FM, Overcast, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and more. Our full videos are available on YouTube, and I post bits and clips on Instagram and Facebook. This is Social Media. This is Laytechs Weekly, episode 5th May 2021. My name is Sean. Stay safe. See you next week. Au revoir.